Game design is a crucial element to the development of a game. Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, released in 2013, nailed that aspect in a measly 3 hours. That's not something to scoff at. In that time, this game has done more for me than most modern AAA games have, and it has recontextualized the way I think about games as a whole. And I'd just like to discuss it a little, seeing as it's getting a remake. The plot centers around two brothers going off on a journey to gather water from a life-giving tree in order to treat their father of a potentially fatal illness. Their mother had drowned, with the youngest having witnessed it, so they can't let themselves become orphans. When told of a potential cure by the doctor, they leap at the opportunity to save their father from his seemingly inevitable fate. Both brothers have unique interactions with the characters and the world, making their personalities shine through. The protective older one, Naya, and the curious and inquisitive, perhaps naive younger one, Ai. The characters in the game speak a fictitious language. Therefore, their actions are far more animated when compared to other games, due to the lack of understandable dialogue to showcase the emotions of the characters. Similar to how theatre actors are far more animated with their bodies as opposed to their facial expressions, as the audience cannot necessarily see their faces close up. The duo's adventure involves reuniting lost troll lovers, fleeing an invisible giant, a Doc Brown type mad scientist helping you soar through the air currents, reuniting baby giant turtles with their mama, and saving a sacrifice from a cult, seemingly an innocent young woman who the older brother falls in love with. But the younger one was untrusting, and rightfully so. She was in fact a witch disguised as a damsel in distress, which explains why she was being sacrificed. The wretch turns into an arachnid and fatally wounds Naya. Even as Nai desperately tries to save his older brother with the water, it's too little too late. When looking at the definition of game design, it states that game design is the process of creating and shaping the mechanics, systems, and rules of a game. This can be as simple as shooting in a Call of Duty game, kicking a football in FIFA, my bad, EAFC, or driving in a Grand Theft Auto game. But when well thought out, this can be a very effective tool in eliciting emotion from the player. This game is the perfect example of that, and my first experience of it. Nowadays, controls in gaming have become quite homogenized, so when the controls differ from the norm, it's noticeable. Each analog stick on the controller is designated to one of the brothers, and both brothers have unique abilities, making it easy to become attached to both brothers even in the short runtime. The older one, naturally being stronger, is able to pull levers or boost his younger brother to higher ledges, while the younger one can squeeze past tight crevices due to his smaller and leaner physique. However, the realization of the impact of this game design only kicks in when the older brother dies. You go from looking like this to this. You feel the loss yourself, not through voice acting or motion capture like many AAA games tend to do, but through the literal physical feeling of not having a use for one of the analog sticks. When that happens, it's not even the left analog stick that's generally used for movement in games that we keep, it's the right. So, the game continues with movement mapped to the right analog stick solely, which is quite a shock to the system when you were kinda used to moving them in tandem, not just one of them, let alone that one being with the right analog stick. At the beginning, Naya carried Nai as he swam across bodies of water. This just shows that despite having arguments and disagreements, there's something so sacred about having a sibling. The sheer amount of trust they have in each other at such a young age throughout the journey showcases the beauty of this bond. But following his brother's passing, Nai is forced to teach himself, become self-sufficient, and get home. He can now jump to ledges he'd need his brother to boost him up to before. He'd used the inner strength he never knew he had to pull levers. It all comes in a time of need, and as a younger brother myself, I really felt invested in this. When I first played it, I was 13. It helped me realize, as much as my brother's always there to help me, always there to support me, always there to have my back, always there to motivate me, I need to be able to survive on my own. Siblings, and brothers in particular, have such a special bond. The natural order of things is that your parents lose their life before you, but your siblings stay with you throughout your time on this earth. And this allowed me to physically feel what life would be like without him. Game design doesn't necessarily make you sob uncontrollably. I certainly didn't, but I felt a part of me was missing. And that for me was potentially more powerful than any tears I've wept for any game before and since. This top-down emotional roller coaster was developed by Starbreeze Studios with the help of then movie director Joseph Fares. This game was his first and has shaped the games he has made since. He has gone on to make his own studio, Hazelight, following the success of Brothers, and has made some special cooperative experiences since, with the backing of EA, one of which, It Takes Two, was Game of the Year 2021. With video games being the most interactive entertainment medium in the world, it stands to show that more developers can use game design to their advantage in this way. Not just trying to mimic cinema through glorious graphics, but using the tools that make this medium unique to shape a special experience that cannot be replicated by films and books. Thanks so much for watching. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, comment your thoughts and subscribe for more retrospectives and video essays like this. See ya!